God, did you see that thing I sent you today? That um, it was AEW, and it was all the different black curtains they had.
So I actually put it to talk about. We're here, so
Uh,
why don't we? I think, Kevin, that's a good idea from a production standpoint. Two reasons. You tell me if I'm off on this. First of all, it does, because they keep it dark and the curtains are black, it obscures it from the camera. You don't know what's up there. The second
oh,
thing
you
is,
do know you do
you
know
know
that
what's
there's
not
not.
up there.
Yeah, there's not people. You know that.
But I'm not staring at seats, which is a much more degrading thing. But what about, I thought from the worker's standpoint, the psychological thing of looking up when you turn around and you're going to do some kind of thrust out to the crowd and you realize you're doing it to empty seats. That must be demoralizing. So I think that the curtaining helps the workers too. Am I crazy with this?
If you've got to spend money from your production budget to fucking put up curtains as you're putting up the fucking lighting truss.
Well, not good. Not good. We agree on that.
No, I
Not
mean
good.
it's just it's run smaller fucking venues.
That's the thing, isn't it? Like, you can have a hot, loud crowd. ECW was never more than what? I mean, at its, I'm not talking about the Vince part,
Maybe a
ECW, but a
thousand.
1,000, 1,500, and they packed them in these little venues, and they were crazy. They were loud. The energy, the workers would feel that energy. It sounded okay because it wasn't in some cavernous arena where the cheers are disappearing into the rafters. Yeah, but what is it, an ego thing to say we're not going to run the 9-10,000 seat venue, we're going to run the 3,000 seat? You don't want to have that on your schedule because it says, well, we're really competing with NXT and
Well,
not
you know what it
WWE,
is.
even
Is
though that's the reality.
I remember when like where the Phoenix Suns used to play like back in the 70s. God, what's that place called? It was the old before they built the well when they first built it, it was American West. I think it was just it was Veterans Memorial
The Coliseum
Auditorium.
Auditorium. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, that's what it was in Phoenix. And the thing was, if you were like, and this is back, of course, if we're going to go back, we have to reference the fact you would look and there'd be ads, in the newspaper, and you would see it and it'd be like, a night of fucking metal, and it'd have all these, 70 fucking metal bands, and then it'd be like, veterans, and as soon as you saw veterans, you were just like, oh, so this is some fucking B shit. Like they can't afford it, like because they're not running fucking American West.
They weren't
I
up
think that,
when you
and I
were
think
working,
that's
right?
what's that?
They weren't open when you were working, right?
WCW, my first run, we got out to, flew all the way out to Phoenix, and we got there, and the fucking ropes didn't make it.
What do you do? Garden hoses? What do you do?
They were trying to get us to fucking wrestle, like bring like they were trying to fucking work, like basically have us work on fucking like high school wrestling, like just work on fucking.
They should have built the ring, Kev, and you should have whipped somebody in and had them take the
And
take
this
the
is
rope.
of course this is 90. So the minute that fucking I remember going back and like all the boys were at the same hotel, and by the time I got back was the first time I saw fucking like everybody in a room doing blow. Yeah, like 5 o'clock.
Those were the days. So I remember the Veterans Memorial Auditorium from the old on the WWF broadcast at the time, and they would say like where they were coming, on tour or whatever. So it was. I mean, they ran a lot of wrestling, but I didn't realize it was that small.
It's probably not that small. I mean, I bet you it held 13.
Oh, that's fine. Okay, no, that's a because some of the NBA. You remember NBA in the 70s, and
Oh
before
fuck,
Bird and Magic. They couldn't.
What did I mean? I don't think Cobo Hall held 10,000 when I go see the Pistons when I was a kid.
Right. And it probably wasn't sold out.
No, you'd buy like a $4 ticket and slide your way down into
Right.
the second deck. Yeah,
Okay, so 14,000.
14,500.
That's respectable. That logo looks a lot like the IRS logo when you get the statements from the IRS. It makes me nervous when you bring that up, Steve. I want to say that. Looking at
How many people did Cobo Hall hold, Steve? It's still there, but COBO.
Yeah. The Joe was bigger. 12.
Oh,
Respectable. But the Joe was the bigger, right?
yeah, the Joe was maybe 16 and a half.
You know, I'm
But
working on
then
this.
Auburn Hills was like 24.
Oh, but the Palace was so big they'd have to do the AEW gimmick, right, for basketball sometimes. Like
No, that
Curtain.
was the
That was
super the
when they had to
Superdome.
use the big stadium, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Um,
But then they built Auburn Hills, which was huge. It was the size of the United Center. I've been watching the thing with the NFL guy. They got Joe Burrow's house got home invaded,
yeah.
and they show his crib, and he has a fucking like a deputy on the property or some shit. And I look, and I'm like, okay, I know they're called hurricane shutters down here, but they're steel fucking slats that cover your like purge your fucking crib out, man.
Mm.
I used to tell people that all the time when wherever I've lived. I try to make my house as secure as possible because when you do anything that's live, and they say, "And live from Des Moines, Iowa," and you come down the ramp, every motherfucker in fucking Scottsdale, Arizona knows you ain't at your crib.
Yeah, that kind of sucks doing live sports like you did.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, these guys, they get hit when they have it, and how'd you like to have a home game, lose, come home and your fucking shit
Oh,
gets
right.
off?
He probably could have used a nice hit of the Delta 9 sip and syrup at that time to calm his ass down. I would have needed it. And if we're in the high spot of the show, it's time to tell you about our friends Mickey Ray Sinatra and Courtney of Get Blitzed Lit Aid. Kev, the new product, I will read you Mickey's text to me. We're very close. And we'll tell you, by the way, where
To hit in the stores?
where you can get it in the stores. I asked him, yeah, he's still I think you guys have a distributor in common that is still they're still on board.
It's ABC down. No, it's Total Wine.
Total Wines, yeah. Everything's ordered. Going through the final phase